Toasty. Have you ever smoked weed?
Me? Yeah.
And it wasn't like a, breathtaking moment. Or was
I mean, it kind of was.
How was it for you?
I was like, I lost my breath, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, let me tell you, the first time I smoked pot, it was in my buddy's attic. We smoked. It was like we were all in high school, and we went to his attic, and his parents were literally directly below us. Like directly below us. This is so stupid. Just looking back, it's like, how could you were you just trying to get caught? And
so how easy it is to freaking
and it's just like, it's the attic, like the ventilation, it's gonna smell and everything. And we had this like little Office Max pen. We like emptied all the stuff out and just had this hollow tube, and then drilled a hole in it, and then put this foil for like the little, like bowl thing. And then smoked out of it, and then sealed it with Play-Doh. So it was like the most unhealthy thing you could possibly smoke out of, because it was foil and Play-Doh and plastic. So I'm not sure if it was like the weed that got me stoned, or like all of the chemicals I was ingesting. But
yeah,
that was the first time. It was
holy
a blast.
Crap, dude.
We watched Mad Max. There's a group of like 5 of us, and we watched Mad Max. I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. I have a feeling if I'm sober, I still have no idea what's going on. I'd never seen that movie before, so it was weird.
Yeah.
Weird times. But anyway, I think where you're going with this is the legal age of substances.
No, I just wanted to start. Yeah, I wanted to get into it, talk about it. Like first time for me was, like a few years ago, right? And where I still don't like do it a lot at all, actually. Really, it's for the job, obviously. You know what I mean? You can't. But it wasn't what I was getting at when I asked you. It wasn't really a breathtaking moment. Was like you grow up thinking that it's some like just out of this world thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you get up to it, when you step up to bat, it's just a normal baseball, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cigarettes. Now that I know the differences and I know what they consist of, cigarettes are definitely worse.
Oh, gosh.
Hands down worse. Now, going with that, based on this stuff, I started doing research on, different drugs. And, obviously you get on Netflix and you watch the freaking Pablo Escobar documentary. You watch Narcos. It's not even a documentary. It's a freaking show. But it does follow his life pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And
interesting guy.
You realize that it was never about you or me. It wasn't about really your safety-ish, I don't think. People are not stupid. I think that people know when they see someone die of something, they may not necessarily want that. Right? So you want to talk about people that do it anyway. Well, yeah, but there's people out there that do it anyway. They know they're going to die. Well, I don't think. So where did this all start? And I started doing all this freaking research. Like, why would anyone ever want this? And I get down this road. I'm finally at the end, and I'm seeing what the government has done. And I think that they did it for money and
politics too.
And I feel like politics. Definitely international politics, and I feel like now they may be the ones keeping it going. And I came to this conclusion before I even hit this year. This is conclusions I've had forever. I've been apolitical forever. This year, just all of a sudden I blew up, right? Because I keep hitting these points where it's like, why is this the way it is? Government. Why is this the way it is? Government. Why is this the way it is? Government. It's all these things piling on. And here I am doing a podcast about it. Going with that, legal substances, I think, should be
universal.
There shouldn't be a legal substance.
Yeah. I think if arsenic is legal, I don't see why like heroin shouldn't be.
So you're telling me
you can't get addicted to arsenic. I get that, and my thing is, I don't believe in government giving you clean needles and stuff like that.
That's the next thing.
They're addicted to heroin anyway. Might as well make it safe. It's like, no, that's not the government's responsibility at all.
Not at all. Healthcare is responsible. Not even that.
It's an individual's responsibility not to do heroin.
And you're making it easier on purpose to keep it going.
Yeah.
I'm no longer under the impression that it's for safety. I'm tired of believing that, honestly.
And what it really comes down to is, I know it sounds kind
I
of
can't say tired of believing it, but
conspiratorial, but it's Big Pharma. Big Pharma
Right.
is suppressing the medicinal use of marijuana. They're suppressing it sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but the medicinal use of cocaine. It was used as a medicine for hundreds of years before it was outlawed.
people are crazy. It was in Coca-Cola.
It still is in Coca-Cola. True. Fact.
It's still in
Still
Coca-Cola.
is.
Where do you
Not
find
like
what the heck?
explicit cocaine. It's not like they're dumping kilos into the Coke vats or anything. But the cocoa leaf is, I think it's sent to.
Where's that gif, huh?
I want to say it's New York. Yeah. You see some Colombian guy
This is
like
it, guys.
tossing it into a vat. Oh yeah. But no, I think it's in New York. It goes straight from Colombia to this only one location in the entire U.S. and they have a special federal exemption to produce a byproduct of the cocoa leaf, and it's an main ingredient in Coke. That's why Coke is the way it is. There's no substitute for Coke. Coca-Cola. Ain't no substitute for Coke, guys.
Woo! Yeah. Okay, wow.
Pretty
But,
interesting.
Dr. Pepper, right? Dr. Pepper tastes great.
Get out of here. Dr. Pepper's. I'm a good Texan, but Dr. Pepper's not my favorite. Okay, I'm
Dude,
just gonna say
23 flavors, bro, and none of them
all
include
muddled
freaking
into
cocaine.
one weird drink.
Well, I'm not on drugs. I'm drinking Coke.
I was like, yeah, you are. Caffeine's a drug. Milk is a drug.
You're telling me, dude. You want to talk about freaking drugs being illegal? Addiction is mental.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
not
mental health
substance
issue.
based at all.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say at all, but it's not substance based at all. It can be genetic.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That's about all I believe as far as that goes.
There are genes that can track addiction, or yeah,
The rest of it's definitely just it's all mental. Yeah, it's mental for sure.
a lot of it's mental. A lot of it's environmental. If everybody around you's doing it, you're gonna do it too.
That's still mental, right?
It's
Yeah.
justified.
It comes back. Yeah, but everyone wants to blame these substances for being addictive.
Yeah, it's
Is it? No. But how did they market cigarettes when they came out?
well,
You're stressed.
they were
Have a smoke.
everybody was doing tobacco. I mean, tobacco became popular in the
Well, yeah,
15th
you're talking
century.
About. Yeah, you're talking about. Yeah, right.
and everybody was
Chewing
smoking
tobacco. I've also done like chewing tobacco, and it
Pipes.
tastes totally different.
Clean-
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
It's not even the
every
same.
royalty
Not even
in
close to the
Europe
same.
was smoking pipe tobacco. Everybody was smoking pipe tobacco. That was the common method, and then they started rolling it into cigars, and eventually cigars became cigarettes because they were mass produced and then injected with all these crazy.
And now
chemicals.
people have like finally got enough money to research different types of weed or what's in marijuana, and they've been able to separate it out. Now we have CBD oil, this CBD cream, that CBD pills or whatever the heck they are,
Yeah,
and THC this and whatever, and I know people that are giving CBD to their dogs.
yeah. I mean, CBD it's a pretty benign
And
substance.
It's whatever. My point is, it always seems to track that we learn that what's been illegal or something that's crazy to people turns out has good things in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's never. When are we gonna learn that and just be like, hold on, before we just stop and say it's all bad, let's research this a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like we were talking about, emotionally stopping, and reacting and making the Patriot Act. Let me rephrase: being reactionary and making the Patriot Act with emotions is not good. Stop, think, look back. When did we even make all the substances illegal?
So there was a huge scare campaign, and a lot of people say it's from William Randolph Hearst because he owned a bunch of timber companies, and hemp was replacing timber as the main source of fiber for paper and for cardboard and all that stuff, rope.
Was it actually?
Uh-huh.
Like, how much of a competition
Yes.
was that?
Huge.
For real?
Huge. Absolutely. Yeah. Hemp is way more useful than timber.
No. Okay, I
It
guess
grows
I get
faster.
it.
It's more efficient, safe for the environment, cheaper.
No, but stop. Hold on. I know that. But they already had such a big, like, timber company, and they had a big, like, everyone
Timber
does
was
timber
the first export of the of the colonies. They
Okay,
were exporting
so
timber
I'm saying,
and tobacco.
how did hemp already catch up to the manufacturing status of timber?
Because
Did it
hemp
or
is
not?
way easier to manufacture than timber is.
Oh, you don't have to grow a whole tree. You're growing plants.
You grow
Bah,
a
bah, bah,
field,
bah, bah.
you chop it down, and the methodology is super easy. You just like whack it until you whack the stalk until all the fibers break apart, and you weave the fibers together into whatever you want. You can compress them into you can make plastics out of it. You can make plastics out of hemp.
I've heard about that too.
You can make clothes. You can make plastics. You can make rope. You can make
See,
paper.
my thing is too is that did they make growing hemp illegal?
The only place it's legal in the U.S. it was legal in the U.S. It still is Kentucky. Because they've had vast fields of hemp for
To
a
grow
long
hemp?
time. Yeah.
But you can't grow hemp in California unless it's for medicine.
I think you can. Well, hemp is totally different than
It's not the same thing.
no. It falls
well,
under the
explain that
umbrellas
then.
of
I don't know.
umbrella of cannabis, but so hemp has a very low THC or tetrahydrocannabinol level. I've heard that you have to smoke a joint the size of a telephone pole to get high off of hemp, which is obviously
So
insane.
why did they all of a sudden be umbrellaed under cannabis and illegal?
Because of William Randolph Hearst. Supposedly, he owned newspapers, right, in the 1930s and late 20s.
How do you own all of newspapers?
Hearst news. You ever heard of the Hearst Corporation?
So
Hearst
that's a
newspapers?
monopoly on newspapers.
Oh, it wasn't a monopoly. There's thousands of newspapers across the U.S.
So they weren't the
have
only
been
one-
since
okay.
before the U.S. was around. Like printing presses have been around for forever, and as early as like the 1780s and 1770s, 1760s, when the printing press was becoming more popular and more available to printers. All these little it's like microbreweries, like after Jimmy Carter legalized brewing, is like all these different small newspapers just sprung up everywhere, and so people were getting information like that. It was like the internet of the time, and of course the post office is delivering these newspapers. So that's how they're making money. Everybody reads the newspapers back then. Everybody who could read, which wasn't everybody, probably like 40% of the population at the most.
Holy cow!
40% of I should say 40% of the white population. Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, probably 1% of slaves were literate. I mean, obviously they weren't going to allow them to be.
And so
educated.
then hemp was illegal.
So in the 1930s, William Randolph Hearst owns all these newspapers. Well, because he's a smart businessman, he also owns all the timber companies that he buys the paper from.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want those. I don't know why he didn't just buy all the hemp companies. See, that's the thing. That's why this whole theory doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I've heard it from other places, but yeah, essentially there's this huge push by the Hearst Corporation and others to basically make hemp and marijuana the same thing and make them horrible. There was a movie called what was it called? Something Madness, Hemp Madness or Marijuana Madness or something. Let me look it up. Reefer Madness. So Reefer Madness was this movie in the 30s. I want to say 36.
Reefer Madness? What the
It's
heck?
called Reefer Madness, and it was just the most racist, vile piece of garbage movie. I mean, it's got 39% of Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, it was racist. It basically said that all these white women were being raped by these black men that were high on cannabis. Just all this garbage, racist garbage, total myths being perpetrated by this movie, and popular sentiment. It was a popular movie back in the day.
You're talking about a movie. Who thinks that movies aren't controlled by the government now?
They're not. I don't think they are at all.
You don't think they are?
No.
Don't think Hollywood has anything to
I
do
think
with it?
China has more to do with it. They absolutely have more to do with it.
I'm just saying.
Have you seen The Martian?
You're talking about this movie that was basically designed to scare people into not wanting.
Yeah, well, Hearst probably owned. I mean, he owns newspapers. You think he might own a movie studio or two? Yeah. So it may make sense.
Okay.
He had already invested a lot of his money in timber, the timber industry. So he's like, I don't need this hemp stuff getting popular and manufactured so easily. So he ran a campaign against it. Eventually got marijuana and hemp lumped in the same category, and they outlawed everything completely. I don't know, in the late 30s or 40s. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, if it's bad for you, we got to outlaw it. If it's bad for you and addicted, we got to outlaw it. And then they started doing it with every substance. That's how the 18th Amendment came into being, the prohibition. 17th Amendment? 17th Amendment is prohibition. 18th is a repeal of prohibition. I think. I might be 18th and 17th. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, so they realized how bad of an idea prohibition was for alcohol. I think they're starting to realize how bad of an idea it is. I think
we're just
Americans are starting to realize how silly it is to outlaw marijuana. I think like 13 or 15 states have legalized it completely now.
You know why? I mean, like straight up.
Revenue.
Well, okay, not only that, but you're talking about how we're realizing this stuff all of a sudden, and I'm gonna say it has to do with a lot with our generation. Even you said that like our generation is gonna change some things.
Yeah, for sure.
Straight up.
Yeah.
We're not gloating.
I think
we're saying that we're looking at all this crap, and we're like, what? Why has this been going on so long?
Mm-hmm.
Toasty.